Heather Goss with us. She is from the East Bay Tea Party, and she is a great speaker and very knowledgeable about Agenda 21 and issues regarding the government moving into communities and taking over private property and essentially bringing an end to private life in many respects. So she's going to share with us about some things. You want to say hi, Heather?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me.
We're so glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We're
This is fun.
Hear what you have to share. She went to a great conference yesterday and has some sort of scary things to share. So be brave. There is a way to resist.
Yeah, that's right. I went to the Agenda 21 conference put out by the Eagle Forum on Friday and Saturday, and it was fantastic. I wish more people were there. I don't know exactly how many people showed up, but there were 200-300 maybe. We did some lobbying. We talked about all kinds of things, private property rights. We talked about all kinds of areas that our lives are affected by Agenda 21, and one that I really kind of came out at me that I hadn't really paid that much attention to, I was aware of, but I really think that it's important for you to be aware of, and it's something that that's affecting all of us and we can do something about, is the smart meter and the smart grid. I was just horrified to find that I have a smart meter on my home, and I tried to refuse it, and they came in anyway and put it on, and I did not know that that you can refuse. You can say no to this smart meter. Go to refusesmartmeters.com and to get more information. But basically, the smart meters are Big Brother. There's two parts to it that are scary about it. Number one, it's an intrusion on your private property, our private information, private property. And it reports utility usage and all of that, down to your local appliance levels is what they're planning on doing to the government. And they can regulate, what your heater is, your washer and dryer, your toaster. I mean, that's the ultimate plan. So there's the Big Brother aspect of it, and it's coming right into your home. The other thing that I didn't really completely understand until I went to the Agenda 21 conference was the actual physical medical aspect of it, of your health. And there were people there that were talking about how sick they were getting from the EMF, RF frequencies that are being emitted by these devices. And that there were some doctors there, some PhDs that had treated people and were actually studying the effects of this. And they were saying that, some of the symptoms are, that you can't sleep, that you've got nausea, that you've got, a heavy feeling in your sinuses and head, that you can't think straight, that you have the ringing in the ears, but all kinds of symptoms related to this. And there's different types of smart meters, which I didn't know. There's a basic smart meter which is connected to your house, and your house is really going to be referred to as the HAN, H-A-N, which is the Home Area Network, and that's going to be the collection point. That smart meter is a basic collection point for your home, and eventually all of your appliances in the next year or so, they're actually implementing a plan where all new appliances, and I understand it's down to the toaster, are going to have this certain type of chip that will plug it in wirelessly. They will communicate with this HAN meter, your local meter on your house, and that will be the data collection point for your house. Now, that meter then will be connected wirelessly through wireless communication to what's called a HAN or NAN. A neighborhood area network, and that meter is called the Medusa meter or Mardusa. I'm not really sure. I think it's Medusa, which sounds bad, and it is. That's going to be basically the neighborhood smart meter collection point. So all of the neighbors then have their own meters, and those meters then feed their information to the Medusa meter, which could be on your house. So you don't know. They say that every 200 to 300 homes or neighborhood, there's going to be a Medusa meter. And I'm not sure if it says Medusa or Mardusa or what, but it looks a little bit differently than the regular smart meter. It has another actual router or hub on it, so it sticks out a little bit more. It's got the regular smart meter, and then it's got basically a hub connection for all the other smart meters to connect into. And that one is a lot more powerful in RF and EMF radiation. And so that's something to look out for. And so you're getting twice as much or even more medical radiation.
Wow.
Things are happening to you. Then the NAN, so the neighborhood then is connected to the MAN, the municipal area network. So they roll that up into whatever your centralized point is for your city collection point. Now from there it's going to a WAN connection. From what I understand, and they showed us that there is a smart meter grid or smart grid that's being developed for the entire United States. They showed us the network. It's basically the internet for rolled all the way down to your home. Okay, so if you think of the internet as a big World Wide Web, a network of communications of routers, and then those routers link to your houses and your computers, well, it's basically the same thing, but it's all the way down to your devices in your home. Now, that network in our country then is also being implemented worldwide. They showed us a worldwide network that is being rolled out, and it's designed for redistribution of electricity across the world because Americans are too wealthy. And,
Whoa.
yeah, and this is all going to be ultimately part of the cap and trade program worldwide. This is how they're going to sell our carbon resources and electrical usage. We are going to have to basically reduce our electrical usage, and we are going to have to sell our or buy carbon credits, or I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but they're going to redistribute our services to other countries.
Now that might sound reasonable if you're thinking that there's a limited amount of oil or whatever kind of energy that we have on the planet, and there's certainly limitations, but once you understand that these guys that are controlling the energy game are restricting development of true green resources, and we talked about Brand's gas before, and there are actually really good alternatives to current energy systems that are being stifled because what's really going on is these people are more interested in control than they really are about conservation. That's what we think is really going on. I know we're not alone in that.
So what can we do about it? Well, you can refuse. If you don't have a smart meter, I want you to know, refuse, 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 refuse. You tell them they're not coming in, they need a warrant, it's your private property. They do not, it is not mandated. You do not have to do this. You can refuse. Some people are actually putting metal strapping around their gas. They're doing this to gas meters, electrical meters, and next they're going to be doing it to water meters as well. This is something that is coming. So protect yourself and your meters.
At the very least, you could put a note on it and you could duct tape it or something. No,
They'd ignore that.
because you can't put anything on it.
No, it doesn't matter if you put a note on it. There were people at the conference that said they had all kinds of notices posted, whatever, and they came in and did it anyway. So what you need to do is you need to secure it to your property. You need to maybe put up a wire mesh or some type of locking device so they can read it, but they can't take it. You really do need to physically secure the device. Another thing that I want to recommend that you do, if you do feel like you're getting sick from these devices or you're not sure, you can go to refusesmartmeters.com, and they actually have a way for you to file a medical waiver to refuse the smart meters, and that maybe that's a way to say, opting out. That might be the best way to refuse it is get your doctor.
We actually have a friend that, as we mentioned before we started the show, that Cindy and I have a friend that has a smart meter. Turned out it was right behind the wall on the outside of where he sleeps, and his sleep problems were coming back and getting worse until he changed his bed around so that it wasn't right on the other side of the wall. These things are real. This is not just trying to use some excuse. We have no doubt that your health will be negatively impacted by this smart meter. It's right outside of my son's bedroom, and I hadn't thought too much about this until Heather really pointed this out, in addition to our friend John. So these health concerns are very, very real.
And I also wanted to mention that at refusesmartmeters.com you can actually download a new secret military document that has been released, which actually identifies the fact that this has been weaponized. These types of RF, EMF type of smart meter, whatever they're emitting, is actually a weaponized device, and can at certain levels of frequencies actually really be kill you. So you can download that document on that site too.
That may sound wild, but really there is very real research that the military has done on the use of EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, to alter brain waves. And there have been instances, probably one of the most famous is on TVs in Japan a decade or so ago. There was a broadcast that caused all the kids to go into convulsions, and it turned out that there were these frequencies that were contained in that broadcast. They were testing, and wow, they got some results. So this is very real stuff, and if you look into electronic frequency use for mind control, you'll find out that it's real. A lot of this stuff sounds wacko up front, but there's real science and real proof behind it, and we're not told the inside story.
I just wanted to address, what do you do if you already have one? Because, I didn't know I could refuse at the time. I tried to, but they did it anyway when I wasn't really there. So if you've got a meter and you object to it, I would call PG&E. I would, try to make some objections about it. From what I understand, they're not going to be taking them out physically. They're talking about some type of an opt-out program, maybe disabling some type of RF, whatever. The Eagle Forum is working on this. I do know that there is some effort to blow the lid off of this thing and really get it taken care of, but I don't know the specifics about it right now, but from what I understand, in the next couple of weeks there's going to be something that's going to happen, so we'll stay tuned for that.